Back for round two. This isn't the best hand, but I think it's a keep. Our opponent is playing first, so we get a draw. We do have one of our combat tricks finally, which I've been looking for the last two games. And I get lead the Stampede, which high variance, but at least has a chance to give us some more fuel in this hand. So I'm going to keep this. And I have some reasonable, relatively early drops, so I shouldn't fall too far behind in a race. I do think, I don't know if it's this round or next round, but we're going to run into a strong Metalcraft deck at some point. This is probably just going to run us over. I wouldn't be surprised if we run into a very strong blue deck. Usually that's one of the downsides of kind of not adjusting your color selection early enough. You see all these blue cards, you wish you were in blue, but that basically means somebody is getting way more than their fair share of blue cards. And it's nice when you end up on the other side of that exchange and you end up with just a deck that's so stacked. You're getting cards like 8th pick that you would have been happy to have in your first 3 picks. And I think that because we kind of forced this archetype, probably left some people alone that ended up with pretty good decks. Opponent's not here right now, so I'm just going to pause for a couple of minutes. Our opponent is back, and they are blue. Might not be a great sign for this matchup. Again, I really think there were a lot of great blue cards passed. And blue-black, which looks like we are in Infect. I think I keep this guy back to block. Although I don't think he attacks. Looking like he's on a poison plan. So we'll lead the Stampede. Hope to find some creatures. And one Scourge Servant. And a swamp we could have used, but a bunch of forest that we don't really need, so. I don't know if our opponent might be on a poison plan, or he might just be on a flyers plan. The blue deck can kind of kill you either way, too. It has some good card advantage with blue flyers. Hex Parasite is a very good card. Especially against our poison plan. Now, I still think I want to attack. I don't know. It's tough to figure out what I'm doing now. I don't have a great plan either way. I'll probably start attacking with the Vector Asp. Well, that's very good. So I can use 2 cards to kill this guy. Or I can just take 2 poison counters. Yep, that's a card that I really wanted. I don't remember what I took over it. Probably a removal spell. That looked like a very strong card. Hand of the Praetors really is making his deck um, pretty amazing now. So I don't know why he's attacking with that. I don't think he can just straight up kill me. I mean, I think this has to be what I want to do. Yeah, this has to be better. Still not great choices here. He can basically get in for 5 in the air. There's no way that I can get in for 8 infect this turn. And he can also proliferate. So I guess we'll just see if he actually wants to do that and sack all his dudes to this. But he does pretty much just have the win right now. So we'll block like this. Yeah, we're almost certainly dead. We don't have an answer for that. We don't have... Do we show him anything? Like, I don't think we want to show him the hasty guy. I don't think we want to show him Copper Carapace just yet. I think we just die here. And hope we have a little better luck in game 2. Wish we had some of the green anti-flyer cards right now. Yeah, this is a really powerful creature. I don't think he even needed to do that. I'm not sure why he did. Maybe he thinks I could give it reach or something. But if I had a way to give reach, doing it to this guy would be fine. So I'm not sure. But we know he has a disperse now. I mean, I'd appreciate having more information. Psychic Miasma or Ruthless Invasion. Now, our opponent doesn't have does not seem to have a lot of artifact creatures. We saw, what do we see? One artifact creature? Were there two? We played Iron Claw Mirror, or Ichor Claw Mirror, sorry. I think that's it. Oh, we played Hex Parasite too. So, Ruthless Invasion might not do that much for us. Question is it worse than Lead the Stampede or better than Lead the Stampede? Everything else I think has to stay. I've not been thrilled with Lead the Stampede, but every time I've cast it, I've got lands off the top of my deck that I probably didn't want to draw. I'm gonna go with the Ruthless Invasion since I'm on the play, and see if that might help me sneak out a win here. Being matched up against the poison deck with better invasion and seemingly just better creatures in general than ours is not a good matchup for our deck. But anything is possible in Magic. Play to your outs. We definitely have enough threats that we could steal a lane if we get lucky. And we're going to play first. Really like my vector of attack is just to try to race, I guess. This isn't the best hand for that, but it's not the worst. We have a clear plan, play Vector Asp, get him for 1 poison counter, and then we have a 3/1 poison infect guy. So I think I keep this. I'm not going to be very happy if I draw lands though. Cool art on that card. Does that look like a 1/1 to you? So the good news is he didn't block. We got through for our 1 poison. The bad news is he has a blocker for the Betrayers. Opponent has some good tempo. Weirdly, like, not on the poison plan this time. Seems to be attacking our life total. So we play this guy again. We're slightly ahead in the race here. If our opponent plays some more tempo cards or a bigger threat, though, we'll be falling behind rather quickly. That didn't make me particularly happy. Like, I think I'd rather cast the. I think I'd rather have that third poison counter though than cast the Scourge Servant, since we are racing. That's fine. So our Scourge Servant would have gotten countered anyway. That makes me feel a little better about not being able to cast it that turn. So our opponent's got some tricks or something. He's got 3 cards in hand, not casting permanents. So he may have counterspell for this still. I mean, if he does at some point, we're just not going to be able to play around every counterspell. Something big. 6 mana. Phyrexian Juggernaut. That thing is big. So an all-out attack here is not good for me. A single attack's not good for me. Like if I just attack with this, I don't think he minds this guy becoming a 4/4. If I attack with this, this might be my best attack, because that makes this guy just a 2/2 if he wants to block it, and I think he has to block it. And if I attack with this, the Hex Parasite block is just too easy. So it's either that or I wait. You know, wait to see if I draw a trick, which would really be the ideal situation. We'll let him make the decision. That was actually terrible because of his Hex Parasite. So not only can he take these counters off, he can pump the Hex Parasite with it. So that was pretty bad. Yeah, it was a really bad attack on my part because of the Hex Parasite. I just missed it. This is a bad attack on his part though. I don't know why bother with the why bother attacking with the Hex Parasite there. I guess he thought I would block the Juggernaut. So there's the Mugenic Growth I needed, and it just doesn't quite get me there. Which means I gotta keep it back to block his Juggernaut, and then still somehow try to outrace Viridian Betrayer. So that's how easy that a poison deck can steal a win now. I mean, he might have Disperse in his hand, it might be a non-issue, but if he doesn't have an answer and I had just gotten one more poison counter in at some point, yeah, we had to try to kill that. So we're on a 2-turn clock, maybe just a 1-turn clock. Well, that guy has Infect, which isn't great for him. So this guy can't block any of our opponent's creatures, which means we have to attack. I think the smart thing for him to do is block with the Flesh Eater Imp and still keep us on a 2-turn clock. So this will be a quick round. Like I said, blue looked pretty open, and I think our opponent did get a pretty good day. Vapor Snag and Disperse are nice cards in this block. Um, Feel for the Calls is quite good. I know I passed this. I know I passed this. I don't really care about this anyway, and I know I passed this. So it's kind of my fault for maybe not picking up the right cards. Flesh Eater Imp, I'll have to go back and see what I took over it. But I think this is a pretty strong Infect creature. With the invasion and the ability to just finish a game by sacrificing your non-evasive creatures to it. Um, I mean, our opponent got some great rares too. Hex Parasite is really strong, as is the other rare that he played, the Infect one. It gives all your Infect creatures +1/+1 and gives your opponent a poison counter when you cast an Infect creature. We didn't see the rares, to be fair. So our opponent probably ended up in these colors for good reason. But we'll see. This is a Swiss draft, so I'll be back in round 3 and we'll see how we do.